Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Hyundai Elantra N with a manual transmission. Before we get into this video, I'm going to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Murdoch Hyundai here in Linden, Utah for giving me some time with this car. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 6-speed manual transmission. Fuel economy is 22 around town and then 31 on the highway, with power outputs being 276 horsepower and then 289 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see it's got the Elantra's crazy bodyline design. Now, popping down below, this particular one is a brand new 23. The 24s aren't going to arrive until next year, so it has the previous gen headlight design, which a lot of people have said they actually like this a little bit more. But you guys can see the rest of the bodywork here at the bottom, how it's painted. It's cool. And putting it all together, I mean, this is aggressive when it comes to the front end design. I like it. Now, on the side here, our tire wheel setup is 245, 35, 19 in the front and over on the rear. You guys can see here with the wheels, you've got that silver mixed with the satin gray. I think that looks really sharp. And then notice how this coloration can use on the side with the little N logo right there. And then look at the cuts there for the fender and then the body lines on the side. Craziness. And then here is the full side profile with the Elantra N. Now, taking a look at the key fob, we have our lock and unlock function, the opening for the trunk, and then you guys can see the N logo there in the back. And popping into the cargo area, you guys can see that although the Elantra is a smaller car, it's got quite a bit of storage. And yes, we got the reinforcement with the N, which, I don't know, that's just a cool kind of feature of it. Anyways, when you're all done, just plop. You guys can see the spoiler here with the N. And then notice the taillight design down below. And then you got another N logo there. And then I love how aggressive the exhaust tips are on the N. And putting it all together, what do you guys think about the overall design here with the Elantra N? Now, taking a look at the door panel, you guys can see soft touch here, and then I love the look of the handle. I think that's sharp. And then look at these seats with the trim, and then you can see like the blue stitching there on the side. And then legroom back here is really good, and then headroom, also solid. Sadly, looks like we don't have a cup holder armrest. Now, taking a look at the front door panel, you guys can see here with the trim, and then look at that design that goes across. And then we've got all of our window controls here, mirror adjustments, and then you guys can see with the mirrors, they do have blind spot monitoring. Now, taking a look at the front, so you got the N logo right there, and then look at the design down the center. Crazy bucket seats, that's for sure. And then we got a 3-pedal layout down below. And then you guys can see lane departure here with your stability control. And then I like the trim here on the dash. Now, taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see you've got soft touch here at the top and at the bottom with the N logo, and then notice that's perforated on the sides. Bunch of fractal controls here, like your lane keep assist, controls for the center stack, your voice command controls. Then you got your N mode buttons, which is always fun, I think. And then you have your auto rev match function here, where you can turn that on or off with that button. And then your regular stocks in the back. Now, here is the gauge cluster. When we change the drive modes, it'll do the normal little gauge cluster change. But the coolest is that N mode. Yeah, that's fun. Sorry about the glare at the shot, but in reverse, you do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. Now, taking a look at the rest of the infotainment system, you guys can see response time is solid. I mean, it responds quickly. And then we've got that N mode page that we can pop into. Again, cool animation. Shows you a bunch of different bits of performance information here on the car, and it lets you know what the custom mode, the N mode, is set to, which I think this is probably a good setup so that you have like comfortable suspension, and then everything else is extreme. And then you got some physical buttons down below. We've got our dual zone climate controls here, heated seats with this, which is nice. And you can see the charging ports and all of that. And then your drive mode select, which I don't know if it's going to pop up on camera very well. And then that's for the camera. And then we do have our shifter here for the 6-speed manual. We'll talk about this more when we drive it. Reverse lockouts up and over, as you can see. Got your parking brake here, and then notice the cup holders, and with the center console, pretty good storage. I like the padding here on the top. Speaking of padding, the dash is soft touch, and then the glove box, yeah, pretty normal. Like I said, this one's a 2023. I like this. Never just drive. That's funny. Anyways, you got all the standard equipment here. total MSRP $34,165. So this MSRP is like $10,000 less than a Civic Type R. Crazy. Let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors, just do a blind spot monitoring throughout the rest of the rear. And let us set off in the name of Adam. If you guys are wondering who Adam is, well, he's a subscriber that I talk to quite often that has been asking me to review one of these for, I don't even know how long. Adam knows. It always comes up when we talk. He's like, when are you going to review an Elantra N with a manual? And I'm like, when there's one that comes in. And he actually is the one that messaged me about this one. I didn't even know this was at the dealership, but he messaged me, which is funny because he lives across the US. But I will say, Adam, if I decide this is a cool car afterwards, this one's available just for you in this bright blue color. And because this one is a 2023, there's probably gonna be a screaming deal on this compared to what you usually see on Elantra Ns. I will say I do like the manual transmission right off the bat. So I've got the auto rev match on. It's nice. And this is just in the regular, I'm in the normal mode, by the way. Still feels very sharp with the handling, even in the normal mode. This is really sharp, actually. I was thinking this was going to be a car that would be better with the automatic, because Hyundai's not necessarily known for their manual transmissions, but it's actually it's a fun experience. Handling's great. And again, wasn't going crazy quick or anything like that, but you can tell that it just corners really flat, which I really appreciate. Yeah, the shifter, I love that. So we're gonna go straight to the N mode now. Ooh, the exhaust instantly gets louder. That is always a good sign with a car. Man, that's a beefy tone. This is fun. It does little kind of like gargles and everything. This is fun. Also, I guess this mode has everything dialed all the way up. Did I get my... Interesting. Whatever. Let's see what the custom 2... Interesting. Whatever. Anyways... It is a little bit bumpy with the suspension and the harsher setting, so I probably would do that. Like, I like this custom setup here that they have with that. Launch control with a manual is always a funny thing to me. It's not that it's like completely pointless, but also it's like kind of a little bit. This feels really sporty though, but again, like when you're just in the normal mode, it was, I'd say, pretty like normal daily driver comfort. I do like this shifter. It's very notchy, but I will say the shifter head itself would be nice if it was weighted a little bit more, kind of like the Civic Type Rs. Again, that's what I've noticed with some of these manual transmissions is they're really good with the gates. It's just that the head doesn't weigh quite enough, and that's all that would need to be changed. So we're in Mexico here. Man, this thing hauls. And again, the pops that you get out of the back are really, really exciting. Like, listen to that. That's fun. So now that we're in the tight suspension mode and everything, let's make sure nobody's coming from either side. Okay, I think we're good. Let's kind of see how the handling is around. I love the steering too. It's got a nice weighted feel to it. Wow. Yeah, that's great. So to cap things off, RIP Honda Civic Type R. I don't care what anyone says. I love the Civic Type R, don't get me wrong. But this proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that the Civic Type R is a whopping $10,000 overpriced. I'm serious. I'm being like dead serious. Like, again, I understand the appeal of certain aspects of the Civic Type R, but this is just as quick in terms of what you feel with the driving. It is just as fun, if not more fun, with the driving experience. That's what you get in the Civic Type R. I like this interior just as much as the Civic Type R's. Feature-wise, it's pretty dang similar. I think the Civic Type R does it have heated seats? I can't remember. Either way, like, features are pretty much the same. But again, this is literally $10,000 less expensive than the Civic Type R. So like, I think the Hyundai Elantra N is a no-brainer. The only thing that you'd have to really change, in my opinion, is just a heavier shifter head, and I think that would kind of improve the driving experience. And there's lots of aftermarket shifter heads there for cars. But let me know what you guys think about the Hyundai Elantra N. And Mr. Adam, I think it's time to buy one. I think it's time to probably buy this one while it's still available. It'll be a lot less expensive than a 2024. Just putting that out there. I'll see you guys.